my dear students. How are you? I hope all are you good. Welcome back to another class. Today, let we start English chapter number 11. Louis. The tea will be quite cold. You had better ring for some more. Said the dogger lady. Lady Binford. Lady Suzanne Binford was a vigorous old woman who had conquered with imaginary ill health for the greater part of her lifetime. Clovis Sangrail, irreverently declared that she had caught a chill at the coronation of Queen Victoria and had never let it go again. Her sister Jane Toplistins, who was some years her junior, was chiefly remarkable for being the most absent-minded woman in Middlesex. I have really been unusually clever this afternoon, she remarked gaily as she arranged for the tea. I have called on all the people I have meant to call on, and I have done all the shopping that I set out to do. I will remember to try and match then that silk for you at Harrods, but I had forgotten to bring the pattern with me. So it was no use. I really think that was the only important thing I forgot during the whole afternoon. Quite wonderful for me, isn't it? What have you done with Louis? Asked her sister. Didn't you take her out with you? You said you were going to. Good gracious, exclaimed Jane. What have I done with Louis? I must have left her somewhere. But where? That's just it. Where have I left her? I can't remember if the caribous were at home or if I just left cards. If they were at home, I may have left Louis there to play bridge. I will go and telephone to Lord Carrywood and find out. Is it you, Lord Carrywood? She queried over the telephones. It's me, Jane Throplestance. I want to know, have you seen Louis? Louis came the answer. It's been my fate to see it 3 times. At first, I must admit I wasn't impressed by it, but the music grows on one after a bit. Still, I don't think I want to see it again just at present. Were you going to offer me a seat in your box? Not the opera, Louis, my niece, and Louis Thrope Listens. I thought I might have left her at your house. You left cards on us this afternoon, I understand, but I don't think you left a niece. The footman would have been sure to have mentioned it if you had. Is it going to be a fashion to leave nieces on people as well as cards? I hope not. Some of these houses in Battle Square have practically no accommodation for that sort of thing. She's not at the Carrywoods, announced Jane, returning to her tea. Now, I come to think of it. Perhaps I left her at the silk counter. Selfish, I may have told her to wait there a moment while I went to look at the silks in a better light, and I may easily have forgotten about her when I found I had a new pattern with me. In that case, she's still sitting there. She wouldn't move unless she was told to. Louis has no initiative. Did you said you tried to match the silk at Harrods, interjected the dogger. Did I? Perhaps it was Harrods. I really don't remember. So, it was one of those places where everyone is so kind and sympathetic and devoted. It one almost hates to take even a reel of cotton away from such pleasant surroundings. So I think you might have taken a Louis away. I don't like the idea of her being there among a lost of strangers. Supposing some unprincipled person was to get into conversation with her. Impossible. Louis has no conversation. I have never discovered a single topic on which she had anything to say beyond. Do you think so? I dare say you are right. I really thought her prescience about the fall of the rabbit ministry was ridiculous, considering how much her dear mother used to visit Paris. This bread and butter is cut for too thin, it crumbles away long before you can get it to your mouth. One feels so absurd, snapping at one's food in midair, like a trout leaping it at mayfly. I'm rather surprised, said the dogger, that you can sit there making a hearty tea when you have just lost a favorite niece. You talk as if I had lost her in a churchyard sense instead of having temporarily misled her. I'm sure to remember present day where I left her. You didn't visit any place of devotion, did you? If you have left her mourning about Westminster Abbey or St. Peter's Eaton Square without being able to give any satisfactory reason why she's there, she will be seized under the Cat and Mouse Act and sent to Reginald McKenna. That would be extremely awkward, said Jane, meeting an irresolute piece of bread and butter halfway. We hardly know the Mackens, and it would be very tiresome having to telephone to some unsympathetic private secretary describing Louis to him and asking to have her sent back in time for dinner. Fortunately, I did not go to any place of devotion, though I did get mixed up with a Salvation Army procession. It was quite interesting to be at the close quarters with that. They are so absolutely different to what they used to be when I first remember them in the 80s. They used to go about then unkempt and distilled in a sort of smiling rage with the world. And now they are suppressed and jaunty and flamboyantly decorative like a geranium bad with religious convictions. Laura Kettleway was going on about them in the lift of the Dover Street too the other day, saying what a lot of good work they did not did and what a loss it would have been if they had never existed. If they had never existed, I said Granville Barker would have been certain to have invented smoothing that looked exactly like them. If you say things like that quite loud in a tube lift, they always sound like epigrams. I think you ought to do something about Louise, said the Dodger. I'm trying to think whether she was the with me when I called on Ada's split exit. I rather enjoyed myself there. Ada was trying as usual to ram that odious choreography woman down my throat, knowing perfectly well that I detest her. And in an unguarded moment, she said she's leaving her present house and going to Lower Seymour Street. I dare say she will if she stays there long enough. I said, Ada didn't see it for about 3 minutes and then she was positively unsettled. No, I'm certain I didn't leave Louise there. If you could manage to remember where you did leave her, it would be more to the point than these negative assurances, said Lady Bilford. So for all we know is that she is not at the Carrywoods or at a stab exits for Westminster Abbey. That narrows the search down a bit, said Jane hopefully. I rather fancy she must have been with me when I went to Moniz. I know I went to Moniz because I remember meeting that delightful Malcolm. What's his name there? You know whom I mean? That is the great advantage of people having unusual first names. So you needn't try and remember what their other name is. Of course, I know one or two other Malcolms, but none that could possibly he described as delightful. He gave me 2 tickets for the happy Sunday evening in Sloane Square. I have probably left them at Mornay's, but still it was awfully kind of him to give them to me. Do you think you left Louis there? I might telephone and ask, oh Robert, before you clear the tea things away, I wish you had ring up Mornay's in Regent Street and ask if I left 2 theater tickets at one nice niece in their shop this afternoon. A niece, ma'am, asked the footman. Yes, Miss Louise didn't come home with me and I'm not sure where I left her. Miss Louise has been upstairs all afternoon, ma'am, reading to the second kitchen maid who has the neuralgia. I took up tea to Miss Louise at 4:45, ma'am. Of course, how silly of me. I remember now. I asked her to read the Fairy Queen to Uama to try to send her to sleep. I always get someone to read the Fairy Queen to me when I have neuralgia and it usually sends me to sleep. Louis doesn't seem to have been successful, but one can't stay She has not tried. I expect after the first hour also the kitchen maid would rather have been left alone with her neuralgia. But of course, Lois wouldn't leave off till someone told her to. Anyhow, you can ring up Bonnie's. Roberta asked whether I left 2 theater tickets there except for your film. Suzanne, those seem to be the only things I have forgotten this afternoon. Quite wonderful for me. So everyone, this chapter is in here. I hope you all are very well understand full chapter. We will meet you the next class. Thank you everybody.